All right, here's the tea. Royal life. It's not just palaces and crowns. It's choices. Big ones, small ones, messy ones. The kind that decide whether you're loved or totally loathed. So let's get into it. Nobility is an active career anyone can chase. Well, once they're old enough. So, what's the deal? How does one go from a noble newcomer to a leader of a kingdom? Perform your duties, make the right moves, and you'll move up the ranks faster than a princess can fall down a set of bleachers.
Princess Diaries reference,
And
anyone?
what rewards do you get for all that royal grind? Only the best strip, regal traits, and of course, the crown. Obsessed. But the real prize is the favor of the people. Your choices change how the kingdom sees you. Example, while holding court, a fellow noble raises a concern that someone keeps blocking their mailbox. The highest of offenses. Do you favor the royalty and punish the offenders? Or side with the commoner and let it slide? You're not gonna please everyone. So, host an extravagant ball.
Random example.
I mean, who doesn't love a party?
Is that synchronized dancing again? I don't think.
Noble rank, as is loyal service to your people
We'll see.
and fulfilling the duties expected of you. Very respectable. Noble, lead by example. Love it. Just kidding. Bring on the drama. Take Exhibit A, the damp disgrace. Perhaps a certain incident about a certain noble gives you the opportunity to extort them.
Blackmailing for an
A
accident,
rival
right?
blocking you from
Okay.
advancement? Challenge
Not quite the
them.
scandals I was
Come up to a
expecting.
duel. Win, and they'll step down a level, and that title is yours for the taking.
Okay.
Maybe after you've honed your skill first? Yikes. Oh,
Ouch.
better yet, let the winds of fate decide the future for you.
Uh-huh.
Power
Sword in the
shifts are
stone.
dramatic turns that alter who rules, who falls,
Okay,
and your
Cinderella.
fate between commoners and royals. But not all fairy tales end happily ever after. That frog prince kiss could be your ticket to the good life.
Okay, we can
Or
actually
a
get
wart-filled
frog
scandal leading to
princes.
a very awkward press conference and your abdication of the throne. Hey, it can happen to anyone. It's only a matter of time. If it's not kissing frogs, it's a sabotaged cuckoo clock. Which is why
Oh
you
my
should have a
goodness.
promise to inherit
Great.
and ensure many years of family rule.
That's a very interesting new death.
Or just move on and start fresh instead. I mean, with so many worlds to make your kingdom, there's no right way to rule. Why not make the unexpected choice?
Okay,
See what happens.
we can be in other worlds. This is interesting. The land grabs with kings and queens, amazing. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Okay, guys, so I filmed the second half of this video already, but as you can see by the time of day difference, I'm redoing it a lot later in the day because annoyingly, in my haste, I accidentally forgot to press record. So I'm having to redo it. New to YouTube and using these systems. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. I feel like I had some really good points that I made and now I'm going to have to try and remember them and get the same energy behind me. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back through the trailer again for me and just have a little look at all the points that are made and see what we notice. So you're seeing the world again there. This is going to be one of the kingdoms, one of the neighbourhoods, one of the kings and queens. I'm not sure. I think this one is from the Cap family. If I remember from online, they did release a picture of the free neighbourhoods the world comes with. So we can have a little look at that later on. I think this one was from the Cap, but I'm loving all this, the big arches, all the floral decor here. These look like new bushes, hedges here. I hope we get some new landscaping. That'll be good for landscaping. So most of these like are base game kind of you know, palm trees, the taller trees, but hopefully some of these will be newer. This is cool. This is, I presume, going down into the docks. So we had taxes there. So it looks like that you can go with low, very high, high, normal. So I'm guessing you're going to be setting the taxes for the whole kingdom. And these are the taxes that your nobles and your commoners are going to pay. I'm going to guess that the commoners possibly are going to maybe not be very happy if you're setting it very high. And you do, later on in the trailer, it looked like we had the point system. So I'm guessing that you're based on who you're favouring, the nobles or the commoners, for example, your points either going up one way or the other way as to who's happier with you as a leader. I'm guessing that taxes are probably going to pay a bit into that. I wonder if that's actually going to affect them, though, in terms of houses and builds, if that's going to make our taxes really horrendously high or low, potentially, depending on how your kingdom is set for gameplay, or if this really only technically is going to affect the actual king and queen who you're playing with when they've got it set high. Maybe only affects their household. Have to see. Sorry, I'm loving these outfits, these cast items that I'm seeing so far. We've got some really nice patterns and textures going on here. There is some metal armor as well here going on. Is this a new hair? Or is it a base game hair? I like his hair, the Silver Fox King. So I'm guessing that from teen or young adult upwards, you can be king or queen. It looks like they're saying that you can't as a child, which obviously, you know, they're back in the day, you used to get some kids on the throne when their elders died. You know, they died quite early back in the day. There was a lot of disease and issues going around, but these days, most kings and queens tend to stay on the throne for quite a long time. For example, in the UK, we had the Queen well into her 90s, meaning that her son, who's our current king, didn't even get onto the throne until he was in his 70s. But it looks like you can do from either teen or young adult upwards in this version. I love the outfit. So I love all of this together. He looks so cool, doesn't he? I love him. But this crown, I love this. It's screaming to me King Triton, which is exciting because later on in this trailer, we've just learned now that we can actually do our kingdoms not just in this world, but we can have them, like, you can create one over in Willow Creek if you want, or you can create one over in Solani. So I'm thinking, you know, Little Mermaid, we've got Princess, Mermaids, Little Ariel, and Triton. So that's going to be cool to remake. Applying to his mail, knighting someone. He's doing all these jobs. I'm so glad they put in a Princess Diaries reference there for Mia. Blue blood. This is, oh, I like this lamp. This is nice. And this crib as well is really nice. I'm guessing this is going to be the new royal crib. And this wardrobe in the background here. I wonder if we can place these clothes in there or if they're actually part of the item already. It'll be good if we can place some in there and place some different items in. But yeah, so blue blood. So blue blood is something that people say about like royals. So if you've got royals like DNA running through you, you've got blue blood. And I'm wondering how this is going to affect gameplay. So we know from the first trailer that there was sort of the talk of scandals of illegitimate children. So for example, if a king has a child with the mistress, is that child going to be able to take the throne? Potentially not, presuming only people with true blue blood can take the throne, although we did also later on see the Duchess kissing the frog, and I'm going to presume she potentially didn't have full true blue blood, but yeah, we'll find out. So yeah, that's interesting. Is it a case of they can take the throne unless that scandal's found out? And if you don't have blue blood, then maybe you get taken away from the throne. So that's an interesting trait. So this is the point system. So they're all admiring her here, and it looks like it goes two ways. So it's going into the red, which would make you think like, oh, she's not doing very well, but actually her performance is good. So I think it had later on in the trailer when it shows the complaint about the bicycle, it was going up the other way when she was favouring the privileged. So I'm guessing it goes half one way, half the other way, depending on if it's your nobles or your commoners that you're favouring in your choices, and you can't have everyone happy. You might be able to get down into that middle point and maybe you're sort of an average medium. But yeah, new point system. Kind of similar, I guess, maybe to the celeb pack. So yes, this is what I was talking about with the complaint about the bicycle. My neighbour keeps parking their bike in front of my mailbox. I can't get my mail. I demand retribution now. Not the kind of things I thought they would be ruling over, so I hope we get some bigger issues as well to rule over. But yeah, this shows so you can either ask them to move it next time, or unacceptable, the bike must be moved out. So ask them to move it next time, I presume, is going to be in the favour of the commoners. So it's like nicely asking, can you please remove your bike, so that this noble can get to his mailbox. And then unacceptable, the bike's going to be removed. I'm guessing if you do that, then the commoner's going to be like, oh, who took my bike? I'm not going to be very happy. So you've got to choose who you think you want to favour, maybe depending on where your bar lies currently. Yeah, see, she's favoured the nobles there, and they're like, yeah! Or she's favoured the commoners. She's going to be executed. So that's synchronized dancing again here. So they're all of them are in exactly the same position there in that pause. As to whether or not that's going to happen in the game, we will see. I don't have my hopes up, but it would be really nice if they did, because you could have that kind of Bridgerton ballroom going on. This is the hair with the beading, which is really nice. I wonder if we're going to get a version with beading and version without. Same with anything that comes with like the crowns, for example. I'm hoping that all the crowns are going to be separated from the hairs and they're not going to be attached, so that we can also use them for people that aren't kings and queens too. I like all the hanging chandelier here. See a little bit more of the world out here again as well. And there are those stairs again. So coming down, stopping at the railing and then curving round. And I really like the red version of the carpet on here as well. This is lovely with the greenery, ivory climbing up as well. Presumably this is a lamp or a column over here. That's pretty. I love all of the colouring in here, the textures, the patterns, this throne. This is cute. This plant's new. This light's cool. These are the windows from the last pack that I mentioned, that we don't have anything sort of like this. They look like they're quite slim as well, almost more like a decor piece. Okay, so the royal wave on the balcony. So this is something that we have in the UK. So when you have something like a Jubilee or Remembrance Day or something like that, what we get on our balcony at Buckingham Palace is all of the royals come out and stand on the balcony, and they all do their wave, and they're there for quite a while, you know, waving down at everyone. And you'll get hundreds of thousands of people down in the streets below coming to see them and, you know, waving and taking their pictures back. I don't see that being replicated in The Sims. I highly doubt that he's actually waving to anyone here. He's just stood up there waving away. It's a nice little action, nice little gameplay action. But yeah, I highly doubt there's anyone down there. You might get Bob walking past, probably doesn't even see him there. But yeah, it's cute. You can bit of pretend play. Oh, that sword. Who's strong enough to pull out the sword of the stone? Okay. Scandals. So in the last trailer, we had the scandal of the affair with Princess Cordelia and the pirate. It looks like the scandal in this trailer is that this little girl has seen him. I think he was our outcast from the last trailer. He's wet himself in public. She's now telling the lady, and the lady is using that to blackmail him. It's for money as well. It's not quite the scandals I was expecting. I think I preferred the affair scandal in the first trailer. I'm hoping we have some more bigger scandals like that. But yeah, I presume we're going to get some smaller scandals that are, you know, you're more likely to pay up for. Like, oh yeah, no, don't tell anyone, here you go, rather than, no, I'm not going to hide my affair. Snatching that money. This is cool. So the dueling. So it looks like potentially you can use this. So if you don't want to pay up for your scandal, if you're being blackmailed, you can also use the dueling system here to be like, no, I'm gonna take you to duel instead. I'm not paying you. See who wins. Although it sounds like if you don't win, you can be overthrown on the crown. Your competitor can potentially take your crown title from you. Sounds like. However, I don't think that this king has a worry because this guy clearly needs to practice a lot more. Ouch. Yeah. She is pulling the sword out of the stone. So, is it going to be that if you can pull the sword out of the stone, like the legend, that you have that chance of being crowned king and queen? That is exciting. I wonder how often the Sims can pull the sword out of the stone, if it's common or if it's quite a hard thing to do. So the wishing well here, it's saying shift favour. So it looks like he's using the wishing well to shift his favour in terms of how he's being perceived by either the nobles or the commoners. So I guess if here it looks like he wants to actually be perceived better by the commoners rather than the nobles. So he's gone to the wishing well, and that's gone on round to the other side, which is good for him. He wants his people to love him more. The frogs. So you can kiss a frog and get a prince, who apparently is proposing to her straight away after kissing her. So that's interesting bit of gameplay. However, also, it can go terribly wrong. She's kissed a prince everybody has seen, and it's just a frog. It isn't actually a prince. And everyone's like, oh, this is terrible. And she's like, I'm so sorry, I kissed the frog. I give you my crown back. How silly of me. And which is then leading us into her death, her demise, which is death by cuckoo clock. I think this is probably one of the weirder deaths I've seen in The Sims. I don't think anyone's ever died by cuckoo clock in real life, apart from maybe if it falls on them, like the Murphy bed, for example. I don't think I've seen anyone ever been pecked to death by a cuckoo coming out of a cuckoo clock. But maybe the Sims team are running out of ideas for deaths. So this is kind of like a reversal here. So actually what could have happened instead of her kissing the non-Prince Frog and dying by cuckoo clock? She is promising instead to her son that he can inherit the title, her noble title that she holds, so which was a Duchess Dame. But by the looks of it, your teens or young adults can refuse. He's like, no thanks. So I wondered then, where does your bloodline go? So if she then doesn't want to carry on being Duchess, or she doesn't find a prince to turn her into a full-on queen of her land, what happens? Does it just end there? She's got her tax level set to normal. She's Duchess d'Andra, Holland. And then this is where it gets a little bit exciting. Kingdom of Innes Green. So we've got Queen Lanella, and she lives in Everdew Palace, which is in our Enchanted by Nature. So it looks like what they've probably done is they've built property into the world expansion pack for this. So I'm intrigued to see. It's exciting that we can actually play in our other neighborhoods, our other worlds, because like I said in the last trailer, it was you've got 3 neighborhoods in the world for the new expansion pack, and each of them had a king, and they only had like 1 or 2 residential lots. So they're just ruling over like 2 people in their neighborhood. Whereas if you want to make a world over in, say, Willow Creek, then you've got 1 property and all the other residential lots. Same for example, Enchanted by Nature. If you want to make 1 lot for your king or queen there, you've got all the other residential lots. So actually you're ruling to a bigger party of people. So that's interesting. However, because obviously this pack has come out after the other worlds, we're just going to be expected just to demolish one of our plots, I presume, and build and create there. I wonder whether or not we're going to have on the gallery some pre-built castles for and also some people like Queen Lanella all set up ready. But if you want to just be like, actually I want to play in Enchanted by Nature in Innes Green, you can just demolish a lot and pop them in, or if we're going to have to obviously do all of that by ourselves. She looks cool. Look at her with all the Enchanted by Nature stuff around her. I love this dress. And the land grabs there. Even Johnny Zest is here. He's not been disowned just yet in this trailer. Apparently, he's part of the family for once. That's interesting. But yeah, imagine Nancy as a queen. So yeah. Next trailer is going to be coming out on the 29th, and that is going to be the official Dynasty gameplay trailer. So that is going to be a lot bigger. It's going to go a lot more into depth, hopefully into like the new point systems, into the buildings as well that have been created by all of the creators, thankfully by the creators rather than EA themselves. We all know that creators are a lot better at doing the buildings and the cast as well. So that'll be exciting to see. That's going to be on the 29th, so feel free to come back to my channel if you want to have a little look at that. And then also once the pack comes out, I'm going to purchase it and I'm going to do a review on that. So again, you don't have to buy it when it comes out on the February 12th. If you want to hold off and see my opinion, for example, on the pack, you can do that, and you've still got till March the 15th to get your extra digital content. But thank you very much for coming and watching my trailer today. I hope that I covered everything in there. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments down below. And if you can give this video a like and a subscribe, it'd be very appreciated. Thank you for watching. Bye!